You say you want it. You say it with conviction, maybe even to the mirror in the morning or silently to yourself at night. But your hands, almost by their own will, stay on the phone. Your alarm clock rings, and you hit snooze. You promise tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow comes, a blank slate and a fresh opportunity. And then, almost without thinking, you promise again. This cycle is not a sign that you are broken or lazy. It is a system, and right now that system is working against you. The gap between the person you want to be and the person you are feels like a canyon, growing wider with each passing day. This is not a grand, dramatic failure. It is something much quieter and more painful because of its subtlety. It is the slow, almost imperceptible drift of small choices that accumulate over time. One more snooze becomes 10 minutes lost. One mindless scroll becomes an hour vanished. One skipped page becomes a story you never finish. Meanwhile, you sit inside, a spectator to your own life, watching the clock hands move. Let's be honest about the struggle. The common excuses and the small daily failures are not moral failings. They are human. You feel the pull of immediate gratification, the siren song of comfort. Your brain is wired to conserve energy, to choose the easy, predictable path. So when you opt for watching another episode instead of going for that walk, you are not weak. You are simply following a well-worn neurological trail. The gentle but honest truth is that these small surrenders, these tiny compromises, add up. They feel harmless in isolation, but together they build the walls of the rut you find yourself in. Discipline is a word that has been burdened with a lot of baggage. We often picture it as a drill sergeant shouting in our faces, a life of harsh restriction and joyless effort. But this is a misunderstanding of its true nature. True discipline is not about a big dramatic shout. It is a quiet, consistent habit. It is the sum of what you do when no one is watching, when the initial burst of inspiration has faded. It is the choice you make to put on your running shoes when your entire body begs for the couch. It is the silent, uncelebrated act of showing up for yourself. Discipline does not mean you never get to rest or enjoy life's pleasures. It means you choose with intention. It is the deliberate act of choosing what matters most over what feels good right now. You are making a trade. The greatest misconception about discipline is that it requires you to feel motivated all the time. But feelings are fickle. Choices, on the other hand, are solid. They are actions. The choice to write one paragraph, regardless of inspiration. The choice to do 5 push-ups, even if you feel tired. The choice to turn off the television and open a book. These choices are small, almost trivial, but they are the reps that build the muscle of self-trust. The journey does not begin with a leap across the chasm. It begins by laying a single stone at your feet. Start small. In fact, start so small it feels absurdly easy. Do one thing today that you can guarantee you will do. A rule is more reliable than willpower. After I brush my teeth in the morning, I will meditate for 1 minute. When I sit down for dinner, I will put my phone in another room. Before I close my laptop, I will write down my most important task for tomorrow. Find a quiet ritual, a simple sequence of actions that acts as a cue, telling your brain it's time to begin. This could be the simple act of brewing a cup of tea, opening your notebook. It might be a run as the sun rises, feeling the cool air before the world is fully awake. It could even be putting on a specific playlist, lighting a lamp on your desk. Rituals are powerful because they calm the anxious mind. They automate the beginning, reduce friction, and tame decision fatigue. Remember the ancient wisdom. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those trained by it. The small, voluntary pain of choosing the better path today is an investment. It is not punishment. It is preparation. You are planting the seeds for a harvest of peace, accomplishment, self-respect. We think of discipline as a rigid cage, a set of rules that constrains us. But in reality, discipline is the key that unlocks the cage. It is the map that leads you out of the prison of your impulses and moods. It frees you from the chaos of a life lived by reaction. It carves out space to create your art, to study for your exams, to build your business, to love more deeply, finally rest without the nagging feeling of guilt. When you practice discipline, you do not feel trapped. You feel chosen. You feel in control. Tonight, before you go to sleep, set one tiny, unbreakable rule for tomorrow. Make it kind, clear, and comically small.